Do you need to warm up before you lift?
Don't you want to look good naked?
When it comes to warming up before you lift, it's probably a good idea to spend some time, loosening up your joints, getting your heart rate up a little bit, getting blood flowing before you go into, say, your first heavy lift of the day. However, I think that a lot of people spend a lot of time warming up, doing activation exercises, and even spending like 20 to 30 minutes just warming up. The issue with that is that it can cause a little bit too much fatigue before you actually get into your lifting session, and you might just be wasting time that you could be spending actually lifting weights. So if you have a ton of time to warm up and you just feel good with that, then go for it. But if you have a limited time in the gym, say you only have 45 minutes or an hour to get your lifting session in, I would probably just spend about 5 to 10 minutes warming up. Maybe you do some mobility exercises. Maybe you hop on the treadmill and walk on an incline for like 5 minutes, or a bike and you cycle for 5 minutes, just to get that heart rate up a little bit, just to get that blood flowing before you go into your lifting session. You can also think of, instead of warming up and doing lots of band exercises and activation exercises, use your lifting as the warm-up, right? So when you're going to go into your first lift of the day, I always recommend doing some warm-up sets, especially if it's gonna be a bigger compound lift or a movement where you're gonna be using a lot of weight. This is gonna be important for any exercise that you're doing throughout your lifting session. You wanna make sure that you're getting the movement pattern down first so you understand, what your body is able to bring to the table, right? What is your range of motion? What do you have that day? Sometimes you're gonna go into a lifting session and maybe you have RDLs, for example, but your hamstrings are super tight from your session a few days ago and you can't get that much range of motion. So that's just a quick example that you need to go through the movement first before even putting weight on the bar or before even lifting up a weight. When you're starting off your lifting session, I like to incorporate at least 2 to 3 warm-up sets for the first 1 to 2 lifts of the day. And then as I continue through that lifting session, I'll do at least 1 warm-up set with just body weight and then 1 warm-up set with either just the bar or a light dumbbell for the other lifts. When it comes to research, there is a little bit of nuanced approach here in terms of conflicting evidence, whether or not you should stretch before your workout, what type of stretch you should do. I personally think that it all depends on how you feel and what you're really trying to get out of it. So if you feel good doing leg swings and doing some, combination of dynamic and static stretches before your lift, and that helps you to loosen up your joints, to get that blood flowing, I think it's totally fine. You don't want to go overboard though. You don't want to be doing a static stretch and holding that there for like 3 minutes. You want to make sure that you are still getting some more of those dynamic stretches in, and probably lean more towards that side if that's what you enjoy and that's what makes you feel good. But again, I don't think you have to stretch before you work out. I don't think it's necessary. But again, if it makes you feel good, it helps you warm up for the movement, then go for it. Women, we believe